Your cousin has one. Your brother has one. Your sister has one. Friends and family, they have one. An air fryer, a Breville smart oven, an Instapot pressure cooker, or any of those things. And you just have to have it. And you buy it, or they give it to you as a gift. You get it, you unbox it, you're so excited, and you're afraid of it. You don't want to touch it because you're afraid of the failure. I've been there. I'm not the greatest cook in the world, but I like these gadgets. They make my food better, healthier. I no longer go out to eat lunch. I make my lunch. It's really simple. You start with the easiest recipe there is in the book, and you cook it. And once you get that small win, you're going to feel like invigorated to go and do more. So stick around, and I'm going to show you how. And only I can take a 4-minute meal and make it into a 20-minute video. Enough said. Now, first thing, rice. That's all you need. This is just Uncle Ben's original long grain rice. And when you look in the crockpot book, they say 3 cups of rice. I don't know about you, but 3 cups is a lot. 1 cup of rice for me, my wife, and my daughter is more than plenty. I guess if you could do 3 cups if you want to use it for later. As someone mentioned, cold rice is great for making pork fried rice. So thanks, Crystal, for that tip right there. So I am taking out a cup of rice, and one thing you have to do, no ifs, ands, or buts, is you need to rinse out this rice. So I just have a little colander here, and I'm going to rinse this out really good, and it's rinsed out properly when the water stays clear. So we're going to do that next. Okay, so I'm going to again just start it. Luckily I have the sprayer here, so it helps it along a little bit. Just cold water. I'm going to sit it in there and let it go. And just to show you, you can already see how this water is not even clear after a few seconds. So that's why we really need to rinse the rice. You can go through, mix it with your hands, or if you got the sprayer, whatever, doesn't matter. But we're going to let this soak for a while. Now, I happen to have the 6-quart Instapot, but there are a lot of them out there. This is the 7-in-1. It'll do just about everything. It'll also do yogurts and steam. It's a pressure cooker, low and high settings. The way it works is you have to twist the cover off. You can also use this as a slow cooker. You just use this as a cover, or you can even buy as an accessory a clear glass cover like you would for your crock pot. Another tip that I learned, I don't remember where, is I was always fighting to get the rice in here, but just pull out the bowl, sit it on the counter, and put all your ingredients in, and then put it in. Reason why is you really don't want to get any food in this area because it makes it really difficult to close the lid, or it doesn't seal right. And on the back of my particular one, there's this little plastic cup here, and all this does, it slides right on, is just to catch some of the steam as it builds up. This uses a regular computer type power cord, so we're going to get that plugged in. I find that mine fits a little loose on the back. I'm not happy about that, but I only got 300 power cords laying around that I could do something about that. So I'm going to plug this in and get that ready. Now, some of the other accessories this comes with is a little measuring cup, and you got yourself a spoon and a scoop. And one other thing I didn't learn about until later was here's your steam release valve. So if you're pressure cooking, you want to turn this valve so that it's up or in the very most clockwise position. When you're releasing steam, you push it down venting, and that's when all the steam will release. There's also, in my particular model, there's a little metal stem in there. When that stem goes all the way up like this, that means it's going to start to seal. So when you first turn on your Instapot, and this happened to me, was I couldn't understand why it wasn't cooking. It actually first has to build up enough pressure so that this is sealed. This will pop up. As soon as that pops up, then it starts the cook timer. And sealing, I've known to take anywhere as long as 10 minutes. And the rice itself only takes 4 minutes to cook, but after the rice is finished cooking, you have to do what's called a 4-minute quick release. And what that basically means is After it's finished, you switch off the crock pot, power it off, and you let it go for 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, you carefully open the venting, and it'll release any steams left. Now, you never want to put your hands or your face over these, because that steam is hot, it will burn you. But what I found out is this is actually a good tool, so you don't have to put your hand underneath it if you're worried about it. You just put this here, and you can turn it with this tool right here. So my rice is all rinsed out. Now, the ingredients are simple. A cup of water to a cup of rice. So if you got 3 cups of rice, it's 3 cups of water. But that is in its most simplest form. I'm going to alter it just a little bit, but so instead of water, I happen to have some chicken broth. So I'm going to use a cup of chicken broth. Give it a little flavor. Again, water and rice is all you need. I'm just doing a little extra here. There's my cup. In, done. Next thing is to put in the rice. Now this is where it helps to not have this in here in the Instant Pot bowl, is you can make a mess all around it. The rice gets stuck in there a little bit with this particular colander, but after a few smacks around, she's good again. We could be done right here. However, again, I'm just going to add a little low sodium soy sauce, just a dash. A little bit more, just that, not a lot. This is pretty strong. And one other thing I like to add, again, I'm doing a little extra, is I'm just going to add a little bit of butter. And finally, if you wanted to, you could do this before or after, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to grind in a little bit of salt. And what the heck, I'm here. Throw a little pepper in there, why not? So let's move on to cooking. So I'm going to place my pan in there. I'm going to put the cover on top. You notice the tones will tell you when it's on and off if you twist it on and off. You got to make sure you get that pressure release valve clockwise on my particular model. That'll start the sealing process when you turn it on. And all we're going to do is we are going to press the pressure cook button. It's kind of light, so I got to hold it. Pressure. It's defaulting to 4 minutes. That's all I have to do. In about 10 seconds, it's going to do another beep to indicate it's starting the cooking process. There we go. So this is now going to start to heat up, and as soon as it gets hot enough and builds up enough pressure, that valve I talked about earlier, the metal one, is going to pop up, and it's going to start to build pressure. And then it's the 4-minute countdown from there, and the 10-minute release. And as you can see, we're doing this on high pressure, not low pressure. You could switch back and forth if you want to. Default on the Instapot for me is high pressure, and that's what you want. You'll also notice is once this is locked properly, I can lift this whole Instapot up without it breaking loose. You do not want to close this because it will shut off on you, just like that. But it will continue its cycle. And again, we just have to wait it out. There you go. Pressure is now building. And now this is going to go from on to cook mode. There's our 4-minute timer. Okay, so the 4 minutes are up, and a couple of things you could do here. If you want to keep this warm after cooking, you could just leave it on the keep warm. If you may or may not have noticed, the keep warm light stays on. I don't want to do that. I just want to shut it off altogether. So I'm just going to hit the cancel button. And now it's off. Now we want to do the 10-minute release. Now I could have just left that on and it would have went through a 10-minute cycle timer. But what I'm just going to do is set my stove on a 10-minute timer. Okay, 10 minutes is up. Now if you notice, I still can't open the Instapot. If you look here, you can see the valve is still up. So again, if you're worried about getting burnt, you can just come here, use this, and you can pop it open. And you're releasing the pressure. And in a little bit, you're going to see that metal valve drop. And depending, it could take a few seconds or it could take a couple minutes depending. Oh, there we go. All right, let's open this up. All right. It's acknowledging we turned the cover off. Lift this up. Oh, that stuck a little bit. A little suction. And I didn't realize this. And probably shame on me for not leaving the directions. You try to figure out where to put this thing. Oh, look at this. It sticks in the side. I'm saying, boy, I feel really dumb right now. But I'm going to take it out of the way for the camera's sake. Look at that rice. Perfect. You know, after you finish cooking this, if you wanted to, you could, you know, put in some vegetables in here after it finishes cooking. You know, I'm going to give this a little bit of a test out here, a little test drive. My daughter actually called me. She's 8, but, you know, she called and she says, Daddy, I want white rice. I said, okay. All right, here we go. That's good. Now, I used low sodium soy sauce. I think this could use just a little salt, but I'm not going to add it. I think it's fine. Woo! Hot. So remember, rice is the simplest thing you can cook in this. A cup of rice, rinsed, and a cup of water. Let it heat up, pressure cook for 4 minutes, release for 10. You don't have to stand around doing it. You can go off and do, you know, start other things in the kitchen. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. Also, visit some of the people in the links below in their channels. They're really great, and they've done a lot to help me and give me a lot of ideas. So, you know, give it a go, and I'll see you on the next one. I don't know if there's going to be any rice left by the time she gets here. I got about 2 minutes to eat it all.